to a new Hints and Theories video here, this time about episode number 7. And with that, welcome to my channel. My name is Julia and here I talk about the mole shows, including Hints and Theories videos in which I collect hints and theories that will hopefully help you figure out who the mole is. In this video we will talk about all the suspicious things from episode number 7 of the Dutch show Wie is de Mol. And if you do not want to miss any further videos, then please make sure to subscribe to this channel here and follow me on Instagram. And with that, let's dive into the search for the mole. Now, before we have a look at assignment number 1, I want to say that I really enjoyed this episode. I really loved it. It was funny, it was cool, and we also had some psychological part in it. I really enjoyed it. I liked the music task as well and how they managed to put their own music intro into the game, so I really liked this episode. Now, talking about music, let's have a look at task number 1. And here we have a mole hint that is actually discussed a lot in the fan scene at the moment, and we also have some suspicious behavior. Let's start with the mole hint, which is pretty discussed at the moment in the community. In that little game Rosario and Case had to do with the Brother Jacob song, you got to see the lines and the notes on them. And Brother Jacob is actually played in minor, and you also see the symbol for minor, which is a B, on, well, the wall there. But the thing is that it isn't in the correct place. So actually, and I do not want to make this here about music theory too much, but to explain it in an easy way, the B actually had to be on one of the lines, but it was placed in the space between the correct line and the line which was under the correct line. And that can be interpreted as a hint because the word for minor in Dutch is mol, which you can of course understand as mol, and it was placed on the space which stands for the note A. So you could read it as mol A, a hint to a person as mole who starts with the letter A, and in our case there's only Anna left with that letter, so maybe a hint to mole Anna. Now on to the suspicious behavior in that task, and let's continue talking about Case, because he actually did a really good job when being with Rosario in that Brother Jacob game. Then they switched to the next game with the piano and the children's songs, and there he struggled a bit, not recognizing the children's songs, and that's why he went to search for somebody who could help. He ended up with Rian, but that led to the fact that Rian's task together with Fons could not be finished. So with that, Case kind of made sure that one of those games could not be finished, so they definitely could not get any money for that and not the part of the composition for the orchestra. And also in the end, well, it did not really work out. So with taking Rian away from her task, they actually failed 2 tasks. Of course you could not know that Rian also wouldn't recognize the songs, so maybe just a bit of luck for more Case. Then there was also Fons, who acted suspicious in the task. First of all, he did not really recognize any songs that Rian drew, and he also, well, did not really seem very enthusiastic about figuring out what she actually meant to draw. But also, he, well, did not really get fully into the task, I had the feeling, so he was walking slowly when he had to deliver the envelope with the solutions of Anna's and Bob's task, and also he did not know where he was actually supposed to go to. So he stopped and asked Case, of course interrupting them in their task, yeah, and all of that, just suspicious behavior. Talking about Fons, that leads us to task number 2. He was one of the people who were on a tuk-tuk, And well, in one of the interview scenes he lets us know that he actually is not so experienced with vehicles like that. But of course the WIDM fan community is very skeptical about sentences like that, and yes, they figured out that by scrolling down his Instagram back to 2021 that there is a photo on which he sits on a motorbike taking a lesson. So as far as I know, it's not very clear if he has a driver's license for vehicles like that, but at least it's not like he has zero experience. So it seems like he lied a bit there. Now, so much about Fons's experience with vehicles. There also, of course, were positions in which you could probably more a bit better than others. It seems like Case and Rosario had some really good positions being at the brunch restaurant, because they decided who would sit where, and they also had an interesting strategy because they decided to get to know what the people do as their jobs and also how old they are. And of course Simone would know that they only actually need to know the names. And the thing is, as candidate, of course, you want to collect as many information as possible, but the thing is, the more information you have to remember, the more likely it is that you will forget other things. And as more, of course, you would, knowing that you only need the names, encourage the others to learn more and ask about things they would not actually need in the end. And Rosario suggests here that they should also ask them about their jobs, so maybe a bit suspicious. Then of course the alphabetical order did not work out correctly, and if we have a look at the scene and have a look at who actually placed Charlie in the wrong spot, then we get to know that it was Rian. She says that that person is called Carlos, which would of course start with a CA, but it is Charlie CH, so that man stood on an incorrect position. But she's not the only one making a mistake here. It's also Anna, who also mixes up some people. So more behavior of the two girls here. We actually have an anti-mole behavior here from Rosario, who corrects people starting with the letter A. But to be honest, if he is the mole, then of course he would have recognized that there already has been made a mistake, which is a perfect opportunity for yourself to make yourself less suspicious by correcting another mistake. And that leads us to task number 3. Here you have two options how you can play this game as mole. The first option would be, and has already been used by a Belgian mole a few years ago, to not look into the envelope and to bid a lot of money in the second round. The second option is that you think, okay, the candidates will bid money anyway, and most likely also a lot of money to get the exemption. So you say, okay, I'll look into the envelope to get some 500 money extra out of the pot. Those two options are possible. We know that Rosario and Fons looked into the envelope, and that Case bid 200 euros, so those three are the most suspicious in the task. Anti-mole actions here are actually from Rian and Anna, who wrote down such a tiny amount of money, actually 550 euro. That is definitely not enough money bidding for an exemption for more. And last but not least, let's also have a look at Babs at the end, because after her test she decided to make Rosario treasurer. And we did not really get the information who she actually suspected the most. We got the information that she filled her test in on only one person, and then we got to see Rosario. That of course could lead us to the conclusion that she suspected Rosario, went out of the game and trusted him and thought he was innocent and gave him the pot, the money. But then again, we do not know it exactly. It could be clever editing, and in the end she also had a bond with Rosario, maybe trusting him a bit too much anyways, so I wouldn't interpret too much into that, and by that I mean I wouldn't cross off Rosario off our lists. Now, that were all hints and theories of episode number 7, which I could find so far. Let me know what you think about them, and if you've spotted anything else that is suspicious. Share your thoughts, your hints and your theories in the comments down there below. Also, I had the feeling that a lot of people thought that Rosario is the mole. At least he got a lot more suspicious last week. Let me know if you still think so, or if you do not think so at all. And of course also make sure to subscribe to this channel here and follow me on Instagram for upcoming videos and the test question. And I hope to see you all back next week when we talk about episode number 8, and with each week we get closer to the final in big steps. Until next week, bye!